I can't move.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh
Holy!
my god. No. Oh my god.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Run!
Oh my fucking god! Oh no! No! Oh
Why are you
god!
going so slow?
I can't go any faster! Nick, have you ever been recognized for like doing YouTube?
You twice. A long time.
Well, yeah, but either way.
Outside of that, no.
Oh.
It was funny when I had that Mr. Beast hoodie on, and then they were like, his hoodie said Mr. Beast executive producers, and kids walked by on the way to Walmart. And it's like, it would be funny if they thought I worked for Jimmy.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to work for Jimmy too, I would imagine. But I've been noticed several times in my life. The first one was literally like a year after we started the channel. I was in Walmart and I was getting my tires changed. And I was sitting there like reading a magazine. All of a sudden I see someone peek out the back. They like open the door, they're like, I guess they must be checking to see if I'm still here, if my tires are done. And then I see him peek out again. He's like, and I'm sitting there still, and I still notice him. And then eventually he walks up to me, and he's just like, he walks up, he comes out the back, like walks up, he just goes, Renegades, right? I'm like, you are the first person ever to recognize, like, out in public. He was pretty cool. His name was Adam. But yeah, the next time was, it was me, Micah, Caleb, Ben, and Wyndham. We were all at Steak and Shake. And as we were leaving, this guy comes bolting out, running after us. He's like, hey, are you guys the Renegades? And all of a sudden I just hear Micah be like, oh, we've been recognized. I've been doing these speaking arrangements for AIM, which is a like an organization that helps kids that are in like at-risk situations. And several of the kids recognized me. Several of the kids actually did recognize me and couldn't believe like I was actually there. And I thought that was pretty cool. But the one with you and me was we were at a convention in Gatlinburg, and we were walking around, and then we were complimenting these people who were dressed up as characters from Has-Been Hotel, and I complimented the one guy, the guy dressed up as Serpentius. I was like, dude, love the fact that you got like the sharp teeth. I love you got the whole, the whole hood and everything. And then he's just like, thank you so much. Wait, where do I recognize you from? I feel like I recognize you from somewhere, man. And he's like, because I've seen your face somewhere before. Like, are you like on YouTube or something? And I was like, yeah, we actually did a reaction to Has-Been Hotel like about a couple of weeks ago, and it most recently just blew up. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, oh my gosh. And then from him doing that, like a crowd of like 7 or 8 people started to form around us.
I think he went and got all of his Has-Been Hotel friends.
That's the other thing too.
What it was.
And then of course all of them were there with us, and we took pictures. We talked to a few people, and it was really cool. Also at that convention, I got to meet Steve Bloom, which was also really cool. He complimented me on my Scottish accent.
And then there was also a dude that recognized us.
Yeah, when we saw Kevin Smith,
yeah.
Yeah, it was when we saw Jay and Silent Bob's the new movie that they did. The movie was okay, but we did a Q&A afterwards, and I told Kev about us, and he was like, "Oh, you want to go ahead and shout out your stuff, man, by all means." And I did, and I heard a few cheers behind us. I was like, "Oh, hey, got a few fans in here." And then when we left, one of the guys saw us and ran up to us, and we started talking with him. And yeah, it's weird getting recognized in public. Apparently, my lady Parham, a.k.a. Bex, a.k.a. Let Me Explain Studios, has got a thing here. It's called Getting Recognized Stories. And yeah, I guess we're going to hear what she has to say about getting recognized in public.
I wonder if she's going to re-mention whenever Tabs recognized her, but she didn't recognize Tabs.
Oh, no. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
So that was just a funny story to me, especially the way she animated it originally.
Let's check it out. Let's see if she does mention that in this. Here we go.
Hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers, and blah blah blah. Listen here. If you know that intro, chances are you know who I am. And if you don't, hi, I'm Rebecca. Thank you kindly for noticing I don't have a mouth. Jumped right out of the inkwell without it. Anyways, back to my original point. If you know me, there's a chance you may one day be gallivanting about in the world post-pandemic and happen to spy a wild Becca in her natural habitat. And if that glorious day comes, I assure you, my little oodle-lollies, that it is quite okay to approach. I shall not maul you to death. Probably. Something that you'll hear a lot from Storytime animators is that they don't know why people get excited or overwhelmed meeting them. Oh, please don't cry. I'm just a weirdo who spends way too much time in front of a computer screen and doesn't shower.
I recognize a lot of those.
I do too. I recognize most of them. But
go back real quick. I need to see them again.
Okay.
Oh, please don't cry. I'm just
Jaden.
a weirdo who
that's YT.
Okay.
spends way too
So it's like something else YT is his name.
Okay.
I've seen that one before, but I don't remember the name.
much time in front of a
That one is shoot. Crap, I forgot her name too, but I definitely know who she is.
computer screen and
That one I'm not so sure about.
doesn't shower
Domix.
nearly as much as I
Tabs.
Abs. James.
James.
should. That's it. That's the
So that's this era, like the mid 2010s to late 2010s animation people, and yeah, this core group is just super cool with one another, and that's one thing I like about this. But go ahead.
Is it Illuminations?
I think so. I think
that's
Illy
what
was one of them.
The redhead one is.
Yeah. But my thing with if there were certain people that I could meet, there's certain heroes that I have in this YouTube game, and if I could meet them in real life, here's all I would do. I wouldn't jump off the handle and be like, "Oh my God, you're the greatest thing ever!" "Oh my God, you're a god! I bow before you." No, don't get me wrong, younger me probably would have done something that stupid, but me now, if I saw them, I would probably just want to walk up to them, put my hand out, and just be like, "Hey, love what you do, man. You have literally changed, my life in a lot of ways that have led me to do amazing things and meet amazing people. Thank you so much."
I want to say that I would be calm and collected and cool if I met someone who I look up to, but I have all of one time that it's ever happened, and I'm still embarrassed by it.
Oh, no.
Because I got killed, me and my squad in PUBG got killed by Choco Taco.
Oh, that's
I watched
right,
him all
yeah.
the time, and I was like, "Holy shit, Choco Taco!" I was like, "I love you, man." And I was like, I just told another man that I loved him without thinking
Nothing
about
wrong with
it.
that. Hey,
He was like, "Oh,
hey,
I love you too."
there's nothing wrong with men loving men.
It's like the way I would have rather phrase it is, "I love your videos, dude. You're fucking awesome. I love your streams." But I was like, "I love you, man." I just didn't know what to say at the moment.
Your freaking work, man.
Oh, I'm bleeding out on the ground because he's already fucking shot me. And I'm just like, "Hey, I love you, man."
Hey, bro, I love your work.
And he was like, "Cool, where's your friends?" I was like, "They're around."
So,
and then my friends all come in the door and he fucking wipes the floor with them too.
Of course he does. So for me, when I've gone to these conventions, I've been starstruck by a few people. First time I met Kevin Conroy, oh my God, dude. I could barely get a word out when I first met him. And unfortunately, he had way too much stuff going on that day. I tried to get to do an interview with him.
I forgot I did get to talk to Steve Bloom. I didn't embarrass myself with Steve, at least as far as I can remember.
Yeah, that's cool. And Steve seemed to be really cool. Of course, we've done interviews with other people. We did an interview with what's her name, Brain. Why aren't you working? Original voice of Ash Ketchum. Damn it.
You know how my brain is with names.
Yeah, I know. And it's gonna. Hold on, I just had it, and now it's gone again. But Also, Johnny Young Bosch was really, really cool to meet. John Heater, Sean Aston. Craig Parker. Craig Parker is one of the most laid-back, chill dudes I have ever met in my entire life. And if I ever have a chance to meet him again, I'm going to see if he remembers me. Because of, he said, I've been to all these conventions before, and no one has ever let me wear their, like, Wolverine stuff. Because we had, like, these patchy Wolverine gloves that had blood on them and everything. And it was just like, well, I guess, we had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Hey, why not you as Wolverine, dude? He's like, oh, I know, right? It'd be pretty bloody cool. But, yeah. Gosh. But maybe he won't because he's already been done way too much stuff. Anyway.
But I will tell you when, like, we weren't sure if we were about to meet Jaden and them or not.
Yeah.
Like, I was very fucking nervous. Like, Nate can tell you. Like,
yeah, I was a bit nervous,
pretty fucking nervous.
Well, I was a bit nervous, too, because I'm a huge fan of basically everyone up on that stage. Like, Aaron, Ross, James, Jaden, and I was going to say, I also was not aware of Emery Chew as much as you were, but after, doing a little research on who she was, I was like, oh, so that's Emery Chew. Neat. So, all in all, though, I would say that I had a really good time meeting all of them, and I don't really regret. I don't regret going up to the show, and we would have had a good. I think we would if we would have been able to meet them. That's what I was trying to say. If we would have had a chance to meet them, I think things would have gone pretty cool. But at the same time, we'll never know because hey, pandemic.
The reality of our situations. The day-to-day of what we do is not glamorous. Actually, strike that. I'll tell you the one time that this job does feel glamorous. Conventions, where sponsors give us a metric ton of free stuff, and when we step on a stage, everybody goes, bah! But even then, you're working really hard at these events. You're sweaty and exhausted, and your feet hurt because you just had to wear the sparkly red high heels, didn't you, Dorothy?
She's
done.
like,
Well done.
she's mad that she made that decision. It's like, past self, you fucked up.
Click them together. Maybe you'll get some Dr. Scholl's, you fashionista wannabe. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh, right. Meeting all of you. Sit down. I got funny stories. About
Mari's
3-ish
sitting down.
years ago, I was at the grocery store. Nothing particularly important about this trip. I was just getting my things. I got in line for the checkout, and there was a high school kid and his mom in front of me. Big, tall football player kind of guy. Now, when I'm at a convention or on the rare occasion appearing on camera for a video, I tend to doll myself up a bit. But that day, I was in normal Becca mode. No makeup, my hair was all frizzy, I was wearing my glasses. Like that would help disguise me. No one would suspect a thing if I wear my Clark Kent glasses.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
Clark
even
Kent
still,
mode.
sometimes people won't realize who I am because I'm not all pretty-fied. Case in point, while I was standing there in line, I noticed the high school guy started to stare at me for a long time. Wheels definitely turning in his head. He pulled out his phone, searched for something, and then began to look between me and his phone a few times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it should be pretty obvious what's about to happen.
Okay, my dad actually had that happen. He saw this guy, and he was just like, "Hey, son, you recognize that guy over there?" I'm like, "Hold on," and then I looked, and I was just like, "Wasn't he in that one movie?" He's like, "Yeah. Hold on." Yeah, that is him. Huh. It was Nick Stahl. We saw him at an airport passing through. And for those of you who don't know who Nick Stahl is, he's an actor. He replaced Edward Furlong as John Connor in Terminator 3. And not only that, but he was also in like Tall Tale movie, which was also really good. He's been in a few films, but anyway.
Oh yeah, does anybody count the fact that I know Chris Crocker as having met someone famous?
That's the other thing too. He grew up playing video games with Chris Crocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Leave Brittany Alone guy. Yeah, played video games with him on the regular.
Not on the regular, but
Well, growing up.
we definitely hung out like one time for like an overnight like session of video games with him and some of our other friends.
Hell yeah.
So we played Mario Kart, and that's where I first got shown A Nightmare on Elm Street film, and was just like,
Ah!
I was scared of Freddy for a while after that, and then it took until middle school before Chance got me into Nightmare on Elm Street. I was like, I like Nightmare on Elm Street now.
Nice.
Times. That's a fun feeling, knowing you're being stared at but not wanting to awkwardly return eye contact, so you do that quick glance thing over and over. The guy's mother finished paying and began wheeling her basket away, yelling at him to get the lead out, we're going. He looked back at me rather frantically and said, are you Rebecca Parham? Yes? Picture? Sure? Click! And he was out the door. The cashier girl looked at me and said, what the hell was that about?
God.
I don't know why that was so funny.
I've had to explain this.
Her doing that voice was great. Really
yeah,
good.
that was great.
What the hell was that about?
I've had to explain this multiple times to people, especially my friends, like my friends who, who like for instance, Zach. There was a guy I used to go to school with, Zach Bates. He heard that I was doing a speaking arrangement for these kids for that ACT program, or that basically, as soon as he heard, he's like, what are you what are you doing speaking to them, man? I mean, what's your career and everything? And I'm like, I'm a YouTuber. Full time. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, I've been doing YouTube full time for about 10 years now, and it's going pretty good. It's going really good, actually. And he's like, bro, I had no friggin' idea. And I'm like, well, that's the thing. I don't post on like my social media stuff that's like for my personal stuff. I don't post my YouTube stuff regularly on Facebook. And I remembered after I told him that, remember when we hit 200,000 subscribers? You remember the live stream when we hit 200,000 subs? He showed up for that because it was literally like a week after. It was like that happened a week after I last saw him. And yeah, apparently he's still very much aware of the fact that I'm a YouTuber. So yeah, but some people just don't get it, but at the same time, it's just like they don't really have to get it because.
I'm still wondering what's going to happen if I ever go down to Charlotte to hang out with Chance and we actually go out walking around somewhere and then somebody notices me, what Chance and Andrew would think.
They're probably just going to be like, dude, what's that about? It's like especially if like a girl does it.
They would immediately understand, but it would probably take them a second to process and be like, I don't really always remember that that's what you do for a job. I'm like, yeah.
He recognized me from my YouTube channel. Whatever, nerd. Speaking of stores, a little girl once followed me around the pharmacy section of Target. Every time I stopped in an aisle and looked at something, she'd stand 6 feet from me and pretend she was looking at the shelves too. I know she was pretending because little girls are not usually that fascinated with Rogaine. She side-eye glanced at me a lot, but never did say anything to me. I wasn't wearing makeup that day either and was probably very sleep-deprived, so I must have looked rather terrifying. Resting witch face and all.
Yes, come closer, little girl. Would you like a selfie? I promise it won't steal your soul.
I very often get surprised by the types of people who know who I am. They pop up in every situation too. See, I am more often than not approached by young people, kids, teens, early college, you get it. So when my mom and I were in the airport and we walked up to our gate, I was rather surprised when a man traveling alone in his 40s came up to me and said, "Excuse me, but are you Rebecca Parham?" I was not ready for that.
Of course not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's
good to know. She's going to be freaked out if I ever recognize her.
But you're not in your 40s.
I'm getting there.
Shut up. Look, here's the thing. I've had fans like talk to us in the comment section and everything, and we have some fans that are in their 60s. We have some fans that are literally in their 60s. It's like, and if I ever met a fan and he was just like, hey, Nate from the Renegades, how you guys doing? It's like, hi, sir. How are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, me and my grandson, we watch your videos all the time. You guys are friggin' hilarious. I'm like, thank you, sir. What videos do you like watching of us? He's like, oh, we love that fat electrician reaction videos. Good God, you guys put me on the floor with that one, and I guarantee I'd just be like, thank you, sir. How old's your grandson? He's like, oh, he was 17 when we started watching, but now he's like in his 20s. But yeah, everything's good. And I was like, oh, time never stops rolling. Your fans will only get older from here. That's the thing. Anyway.
My brain fully expected this man to say, excuse me, is this the flight to London or some other old person thing like, do you remember that show Thundercats? He was a nice guy and told me that he watched my videos with his daughter.
Hey.
Your child forces you to watch me. Now that makes sense. Well, fair play to you, dedicated parental unit. There was this one time back in 2019, I was in downtown San Antonio for San Japan, a big old Weeb Fest anime convention. I was there to sing at a concert with fellow YouTubers Caleb Hiles, Anna Pantsu, and CG5. The night before the convention started, we all went to dinner, and when we were done, we called an Uber to get back to the hotel. I was in the front seat and Caleb was in the back seat directly behind me. We must have been talking about something very interesting because I had turned towards my window to better speak to him over my shoulder. The car stopped at a red light, and while we were sitting there, some movement outside of my window caught my eye. I looked up, and this is what I saw in the Suburban next to me. Funny enough, there was one time my face
The lack of audio has just made it all the funnier.
Yeah. It's like, hey, over here. Okay.
What the fuck?
I'm looking at you now. What's the deal?
Boing, boing, boingy, boingy, boingy.
I'm so excited.
Hi.
Hi.
Funny enough, there was one time my face wasn't even the thing getting recognized. About 3 years ago, I was at Disney World with my family, and on this particular day, we were at Epcot. David and I were waiting outside the bathrooms for Mom and Rachel when a girl walked by and
it's blocked right now. Dude's got an Aperture shirt on.
noticed that David was wearing an Aperture Laboratories
Hey, okay.
t-shirt. The nerd. She stopped
Hey,
and
shut up. Aperture Labs is awesome.
said,
She's wearing a no-face shirt.
T-shirt.
Yep.
I couldn't help but notice that the girl was wearing a Spirited Away shirt, so I said, oh, and look, you're wearing Hayao Miyazaki. You really ought to go over to the Japan Pavilion here. They have all sorts of fun anime and manga stuff. I was rather satisfied with my perfectly executed social interaction there. Ha, my fellow geeks are so easy to talk to. But then I noticed how she was looking at me. She was staring very intently and squinting her eyes
She
in
recognized
suspicion.
your voice.
Yep. That's always the thing. It's like, whenever I hear someone's voice, all of a sudden it's just like, where have I heard that before? Wait. I know you.
I mean, I get it wrong a lot of the times, though. Like, I will think I'm hearing someone, but then it's somebody else. I had one last night, though, when I was replaying Breath of the Wild, and I heard Rivali again. I was like, wait, where the fuck have I heard him recently? And it turns out Rivali's voice actor is also Mishima in Persona 5. And I was like,
there you
that's
go.
why.
So, what I'm talking about is like, yeah, there's ones that are just, iconic and can never be mistaken. Such as Johnny Young Bosch and Steve Bloom, Laura Bailey.
Well, except with a couple of Steve's characters. Steve will occasionally highly change his voice up for a character.
That's true, but
Like in,
for the most part, for
example, like his character in this one, like you would not expect to sound.
That's true, but my deal is for
something else.
For like 95% of the voices that he does.
Gurren Lagann, that was the one I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah.
You know what character he plays in Gurren Lagann?
Brain, why don't you?
It's the one you wouldn't expect it to be at all.
I forget.
It's the ridiculously flamboyant character.
Okay.
That's Steve.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck? That's Steve?
But like I was saying, dude, but like 95% of the time, you know it's Steve Bloom, or you know it's Johnny Young Bosch, or Laura Bailey, or there's Tara Strong. Most of the time, I know when it's Tara Strong.
I can't tell when it is or isn't Matt Mercer because he's got too many damn voices he does.
Matt Mercer's Matt Mercer's crazy though.
I thought I had said something stupid. Oh God, I insulted her. I assumed she liked anime. I mispronounced Hayao Miyazaki. I did something. I must have. She just kept staring at me, but then said,
You sound familiar.
Oh,
Hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodle-ollies, Rebecca down here.
and that was all she needed to hear. Who needs to stand in line to take a picture with a princess? You got a moderately popular YouTuber over here. But I'll never...
moderately popular, she says. I'm sorry, Rebecca, but when you have the subscriber count of a small country, nah, you are not moderately popular.
You're allowed to take the moderately off at this point.
Yeah, you're allowed to officially say popular.
Yeah.
Now, when you have less than 300,000, you could say that you're moderately, if not lingering on irrelevancy. But yeah, I honestly, like, you got nothing to you got nothing to worry about. You're all good.
I always wonder how to phrase it if I say what kind of, like, I'm always like, okay, so if I tell someone that I do YouTube, the first thing I feel like is going to pop into their head is that I try and fail to do YouTube videos in my basement or something like that. Know what I mean? And I was like, so how do I phrase it that doesn't say, like, we're obviously not ridiculously popular, but we're popular enough that we have enough of a following that it works. So I'm like, I would work for a pretty successful YouTube channel.
Yeah, you work for I work for a fairly successful.
So I feel like
YouTube
that's the
channel.
thing. At least we succeed on a level at doing what we're trying to do. You know?
Exactly. And that's all you can really say. It's like, I work for a fairly successful YouTube channel. That's
if you ask 10 people if they know who we are, it's not the best odds. That
no, but
will.
you're probably going to get...
But if you go to a big city, there's a decent odds that, like, if you stay there for the whole day, you'll run into one person that knows.
Funnily enough, CGP Grey actually created an algorithm that you could type in, like, your subscriber count, and then type in the population of the city that you're in, and it will give you a number of how many, on the aggregate, on how many people are subscribed to you. It's actually really cool.
Forget the only reason I got recognized that day was because of David's nerdy shirt. You win this one, brother. And
Nothing wrong
speaking
with
of
that.
nerdy shirts, we have one of those sweet new Witch of the Wood shirts in the shop for ya. We call this one the Garden
pretty
Witch
dope.
shirt. Good for ladies, gents, and all other corporeal beings. Get 'em while they're hot, baby cakes. Link in the description below. Alright, I think I'm just about out of time for this video. Now, don't forget, explainers and entertainers, if you see this face poking about in the post-pandemic outside world, you shan't be afraid to introduce yourselves. It warms my heart to see your blessed little faces and subsequently squeeze them. Have a good day, my little oodle-ollies. Thank you so much for tuning in, but now I gotta tune out. Bye!
I'll try not to be afraid. I just, I get nervous around ladies that I find attractive, so...
There you go.
That's why I was nervous to talk to Jaden, too.
And that was before, and by the way, that was before Jaden announced that she was a Arrow Ace, okay? That was way before that happened. So.
I respect it. It still doesn't make her unattractive.
No, and that's fine.
So.
That's fine. Well, that's the thing. But people would say, it's like, wow, dude, you still tried to like you interact with it, because there's going to be people who always overstep and pretend like you're doing something wrong by trying to talk to her.
Like, I can still tell her I like her videos and stuff.
What's wrong with
Maybe
that?
I'll respect and not ask her out for ice cream like I originally thought I was going to if I ever met her.
Well, you'd have to find a vegan joint because, once again, she's vegan. So
that was also before I knew that. So,
yeah,
that was my original plan. The plan has since been changed completely.
I wonder if she still is vegan, because from what I understand, she turned vegan because Dave from Boy in a Band convinced her to go vegan. But now that Dave has basically fallen off the map because of potentially horrible allegations against him. I wonder if Jaden still is vegan, because the thing is, like, from what I understand, she said she became a vegan for, like, the ecological reasons, and, like, here's the thing, if you become vegan because you're you want to be, like, if you're doing it for, like, health reasons, or you're doing it because of, what's the word I'm looking for? You're doing it for health reasons, or you're doing it for, just, like, you don't like the idea of consuming another living creature, even though plants are living creatures and have actually been shown to feel pain, which, that's the thing. I've I've just told people this before. It's like, no matter what you do, you're, like, human beings and, like, how we exist on this planet, there's no 100% way to go without hurting or harming something. It's either the environment, it's either the animals that you don't see. For instance, I heard someone say one time, it's like, veganism doesn't harm any animals. I'm just like, tell it to the snakes, the voles, the moles, the mice, all the animals that live. I'm just talking about in the land, and that live underground, that get diced up every time the land is basically tilled up to plant soybeans. Oh, not only that, but all the birds that die from all the insecticides that are sprayed on top of all those things, and all the other animals that suffer because of it. Look,
I think we're pretty off topic at this point.
Yeah, sorry. But all I'm saying, dude, is just, like, anytime, like, fuck it. Moving on. So, yeah, getting recognized in public. That's something that I've had to deal with a few times, you've had to deal with a few times, and all in all, it's fun. I just worry about running into, like, someone who's just really overzealous. Okay, like, hasn't happened yet.
I think if I ever meet any of the YouTubers that we actually react to at this point, I think my plan's going to be like, so, you don't happen to ever watch reactions to the stuff that you do you? Like, people reacting to your content? And if they're like, yeah, I'll be like, you haven't happened to notice the Renegades. Like, see if they actually have any idea who I am.
Well,
might make it slightly less awkward if we have something in common, kind of, you know? It's like, hey, I'm on YouTube too.
Yeah.
You probably have a lot more subscribers than we do, but...
Yeah, probably. And here's my thing, is, like, I look at ones that, for instance, I'm thinking about going to PAX East this year. Maybe for, like, a day or two. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm thinking about going to PAX East, and it's just, there's a lot of people there that I would like to meet. But if I ever did meet, like, some of the ones, like, I know some of, like, the members of the Vanos crew that if I did meet in real life, they would be like, I guarantee, because Brian knows who we are. I know that Tyler knows who I am because I'm a mod on his main channel. I think that Nobla would know who we are, although I don't know. There's several that I think would know us very much, and I would just be like, so. Actually, funny enough, I would want to carry, like, a inflatable couch with me, and I'd sit it down in front of him, and I'd just sit there with, like, a thing of popcorn, just like, and be like, oh, I'm just doing what I always do, reacting. You guys are funny. But anyway, yeah, but Rebecca, if I did meet her, I would just I basically would just ask her to just be like, hey, this is my friend Nick here. If you're single, would you go on a date with him?
Don't do that.
I'm joking. I wouldn't put you on the spot like that. So, all right. Anywho, that's gonna do it.
If you're gonna wingman, like, do it like in a not less obvious way. You know, it's like the How I Met Your Mother way. It's like, hey, have you met Nick? Like, kind of thing, you know?
Like a full Barney.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, you met Nick? It's like, yeah. So, hey, it's really nice to meet you and everything. Oh, have you met my friend Nick? He's yeah, that's him right here. Say what's up, dude. And you're just like, stop, dude. Oh, God. Anywho, we're moving on. This was a good video. If you want to check out more from Rebecca, feel free to click the Let Me Explain Studios name in the title of the video. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.